friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live with me, Mike Avery, here in my home studio, my home office, and glad to have you along with me as we celebrate this outdoor lifestyle, this history and tradition of hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping and all things fun in the outdoors, all things wonderful, and so glad to have you along with me on a very, very cold Wednesday night. Oh, man, some parts of the state got some snow last night. That's Michigan, that is. Cliff, good evening. How are you, buddy? Hello, Randy. Dave, always a pleasure. Johnny Bowler, how you doing, buddy? The Bear Whisperer. Sean Hodges, fellow Owner Quest person, how are you? Big changes at Owner Quest, that's for sure. Denise, nice to have you along with us as well. I appreciate it. Hello, Bernie. How you been, buddy? Craig, my good friend, Jeff, Captain Jim. Oh, Jim, congrats on that second buck. I did get your email. I did not get a chance to... I did not get a chance to post it yet, but I will. Please do, Johnny. I just realized something. And this is kind of weird. I actually have my new hearing aids in, and I forgot to take them out before I put my in-the-ear monitors in, and they actually fit right over the top of my hearing aids. Oh, well. What do you know? Hello, Michelle. How are you tonight? Barry, always a pleasure. Lee, hey, Uncle Johnny, I tried to call you back, buddy. I did talk to Ryan via text. Not a phone call. Pretty cool. Oh, Tony, how are you? Yeah, really a nice buck, Jim. And $2, you're done for the season. Well, you can still go out and still whack some does, right? Tony, how are you? Nice to have you along with us. Jim, always a pleasure, my friend. How are you? My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. It's something I do every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Ricky, good evening. Here on my social media outlets. And as always, glad to have you along with us. It is the month of November now. November 1st, in fact. Hey, Ross. Hey, buddy. How are you? Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. It's been an awful lot of fun. Really a lot of fun. And we will be out. I'll be out hunting again Friday night. I think my granddaughter's going to go with, and my grandson, Trent, I wouldn't be surprised as well. So it has been a lot of fun. So it is November 1st. It's the day after Halloween, so we've got that behind us. Thanksgiving coming up, of course, and then Christmas right around the corner, and then New Year's, and wow. Terry, how are things in Flint? Chris, thank you. I appreciate it. Nice to have you along with us as well on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. So, what does Halloween mean? When is opening day for what? Opening day for the firearm season is November 15th. Ken says he's going fishing Friday if he can, jigging the Saginaw River. That sounds like a lot of fun. As much as I love to troll, there's nothing like having that jigging rod in your hand, slipping along with the current. That's probably my favorite way to fish. Probably my favorite thing to fish is river walleye. Hey, Jim. Jim's down in Ohio. He's in Huron, Ohio, trying to fish. Why? Has it been windy down there, Jim? Good evening, Dan. Johnny, a picture of a big doe not far from where you're bear hunting. Got a sugar beet in his mouth. Big dog. Big, like, you mean like a collie, right? Or an Irish setter. Or a lab. That's what you mean by dog, I'm sure. Paul, good evening. Terry's trying to get the big one. Very windy. Oh, very windy. Okay. Well, one thing's for sure, if you can get out on Lake Erie this time of year, you will get fish. And big fish. And if you can't fish, maybe you want to go hunting right now. The rut is on. Ted, good evening. How are you? I noticed last Saturday, it was like flipping a switch. My grandson Trent grunted in a small buck on Saturday, but also that same day around our hunting property, 3 nice bucks were taken on that day. So boom, it was like a switch. And it's going to get nothing but better for the next week or so. So if you can get out right now, you want to get out. If you can do an all-day sit right now, do it. We had a picture yesterday on a trail camera. This is Monday, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right in front of one of my favorite stands, a very, very nice 9-point. I mean, very, very tall 9-point at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Paul's getting bucks on his cameras, even a piebald. Greg says the deer are hitting his killer food plots all day long. Never seen that before. Excellent, excellent. Ed, hearing a bunch of crap of Lake St. Clair duck hunters having issues in... I don't know what that means. Ed, help me out. They're chasing in Genesee County. They're chasing everywhere right now, Terry. They're absolutely chasing everywhere. So if you can get in the woods right now, in a tree stand or in a ground blind, now is the time to do it. Speaking of blinds, let me put another plug right here. Primal Outdoors. Primal Outdoors is continuing their big promotion. I told you about this first last week, but what's happening is Primal is moving their inventory from one warehouse to a warehouse here in Michigan. I think it's probably the one down in Clio, the former Ameristep warehouse. And rather than pay to move these blinds, they just as soon sell them. So if you go to the website primaloutdoors.com, and use the promo code AveryFall23, that's AveryFall23, you can get, say, one of my Wraith blinds for $130. I've never seen them that low. So this is really something to take advantage of. Billy, how are things out in the beet field? Tony says the rut is on. It is. Jim just finished up sighting in the muzzleloader for this weekend. Help me out, Jim, because I lose track of the different seasons because there are so many different seasons. Why do you need your muzzleloader this weekend? Help me out. I honestly don't know. Lost Glove, good evening. It's a 4-mile stretch, about a half mile near Algonac. Okay, so let me go back. Now that I know that, SNI, Snybora? Having issues in Snybora. What kind of issues? I've never heard of this place before. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Primaloutdoors.com, primaloutdoors.com. When you go to checkout, you got to put all your information on. When you go to checkout, you'll see a box that says promo code. In there, you put Avery Fall 123, Avery Fall 123. You can get the Vision for $130 You can get the Wraith for $130 What's the difference between the Vision and the Wraith? The Vision is a different camo pattern, and it has brush loops. I personally like the Wraith better, but it does not have brush loops. You can get them both for $130 Hey, good evening, Matt. How are you? Billy's getting it done. Be better if this weather would pick a temp. Up and down, up and down. Is that hard? Billy, is that hard? What is it hard on? Is it hard on the fields, the quality of the fields, getting in them, or what? Paul says, what is the crossbow you use made in Michigan? The crossbow I'm using now, Paul, is not made in Michigan. It's a 10-point. I used to shoot Darton. I shot Darton forever, for many, many, many years, forever. Big fan of Darton. Michigan-based, made in Michigan. But I wanted a bow you could uncock without shooting. Darton doesn't make a crossbow that you can uncock, and they don't have any plans to do that. If Darton made an uncocking crossbow, I'd go back to Darton. Anyway, I shoot a 10-point. That's made in Ohio. And I really like it. Really like it. Kevin ordered a 270 Monday evening. Just got my shipping notification today. Be here tomorrow afternoon. Excellent. Hey, Bruce. Good evening. How are you, buddy? Too much local cops, Clay Township Police enforcing the firearm safety zone. Okay. Well, 450 feet. If they're trying to duck hunt within 450 feet of a building, the law is the law. Easy to use. The 10 points are easy to use. I really like them because you can decock them. Hey, Terry. Jerry, good evening. Okay, Jim says, Oh, Jim. I forgot you were in Tennessee, Jim. Jim says bow season is over Friday. Muzzleloader starts this weekend, goes for 2 weeks, then rifle up. Okay. Thank you, Jim. That makes sense. I forgot you were in Tennessee. I'm trying to think, what's the muzzleloader season here in Michigan? Thank you for that. Jerry says, good evening, Captain Mike. I want to show you something. I was in Killer Instinct is made in Michigan. Killer Instinct is made in Michigan, but I don't think you can decock those, can you, Jerry? Okay. Last weekend, my wife Denise and I were in West Michigan over at Hope College. Beautiful college. We were there for the Michigan Charter Boat Association annual meeting. I was asked to come to that meeting because they wanted to give me an award. Now, this was pretty cool, and this is the award right here. This is pretty cool because as a young man, I mean, like in my 20s, as we were fishing Muskegon, I used to watch these charter boats head out on Lake Michigan for their fishing adventures. I never dreamed that one day I would be a charter captain and a member of the Michigan Charter Boat Association and be honored by the Michigan Charter Boat Association. So I've been blessed to get a lot of awards over the years, but I got to be honest, this one right here is one of the absolute coolest. So thank you, Michigan Charter Boat Association, for that. Billy says, temps above 52, they don't want us to pull the beats. It's too warm. I got you, Billy. They get below 30, it's too cold. I got you. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Dale, evening, y'all. Transplanted Michigander now in Texas. Sure missing the Michigan fall weather. Hey, Dale, nice to have you along with us. Randy, thank you, Lost Glove. Appreciate it. Hello, Ed. How are you, buddy? A little dehydrated tonight here, I think. I'll fix that soon. Oh, here in Michigan, another case of CWD, chronic wasting disease. This was found in a 4-year-old doe in northern Ogemaw County. Absolutely, they're chasing real hard right now, David. Crossbow Company was made in Saginaw during the 70s. I have no idea. Do not know. CWD, Northern Ogemaw County, a 4-year-old doe. This was not taken by a hunter. This was a landowner, a property owner, who noticed the deer was acting weird, called the DNR. DNR, they came out, euthanized the deer, shipped it off, had it tested, and it is positive for CWD. First one in Ogemaw County. I hate to see this for many reasons. Number one, I hate to see that CWD is indeed still spreading. I hate the fact that this gives the biologist more ammunition to continue to restrict, say, baiting in the Lower Peninsula. It's a shame. Evening, Danny. Paul, my 11-year-old daughter wants to try a crossbow. Horton is too heavy, just looking for a lighter and cheaper option. Killer Instinct's a good option. Darton's a good option. I love my 10-point, but that 10-point is quite expensive. Cliff says soon it'll be ham for the holidays. We're going to start in 2 weeks. Art Lewis, hello from Vegas. How are you, Art? See you next week, buddy. Ed says the Barnett, the Magnum series. I would stay away from Barnett. Paul, I would stay away from Barnett. I really would. Barnett is very reasonably priced, but I don't know anybody who works in the archery industry and works on bows that would recommend a Barnett because, unfortunately, their quality is suspect. Josh, good evening. How are you? Jeff says Wicked Ridge works well. Wicked Ridge. Isn't Wicked Ridge the sister company of 10 Point? Kevin says he loves his Wicked Ridge. Evening, Jeff. Craig says he just ordered his Wraith 270. Thanks for saving you some money. Anything I can do for you, big guy, anything I can do. Lee says the Excalibur isn't terribly heavy. The thing I don't like about the Excalibur is it's a recurve style crossbow. Jeff says, indeed, it is made by 10 Point. And more reasonably priced. And I believe, in fact, I know that Wicked Ridge does have a bow you can decock. Used to be Wicked Ridge by Horton. Where'd that go? Thank you, Paul. John says Excalibur. Excalibur is a fine crossbow. It's built like a tank. Personally, if I'm going to use a crossbow, I don't want to use the recurve style limb. Hey, Tommy, good evening. How are you? Did you see any deer tonight? Centerpoint. David says Centerpoint has a nice bow for the price. Mine is light and will throw an arrow straight. Centerpoint. Help me out, David. Centerpoint. Who makes Centerpoint crossbows, or at least what name are they marketed under? Hey, Steve, how are you, buddy? How you doing? Bernie says, Mike, I've had a Barnett for years with no problem. Should I start to worry about at my old age? I don't know how to answer this question, Bernie, because if the bow is working well for you, why not? But again, the people I respect in the archery industry who do not have a dog in the hunt really don't like the Barnett crossbows. They really say they have a tendency to have some problems. So I don't know what to tell you, Bernie, except maybe take it up to Jay's or somewhere and have it looked at. Tommy said 2 button bucks in a doe. James says Matthews all the way. I'm not one of those people who is so brand loyal. For example, I know Matthews is a good bow. I know they're a great bow. I would probably never buy a Matthews just because, and this is my bias, my personal bias. I have a problem with companies that market a product so well and so hard that people will buy the product without ever trying it out just from the marketing alone. You'll see this with Rage. You'll see it with Matthews. You'll see it with, I don't know, what else. People walk in the store, and because Lee and Tiffany or whoever uses it, they want that, and they don't even try other bows. That's my problem with Matthews. And it's not really a problem. They are just such great marketers. It's a great product. Great product. And the guy behind Matthews, I can't think of his name, is a good Christian man. So yes, Matthews is a wonderful bow. It's just not for me. Probably shouldn't say that, but I just did. Hey, Mark, good evening. Again, it's a great bow and great products, and Jay's sells a ton of Matthews, and the guys at Jay's love Matthews. And let me rephrase. I guess if you went to Jay's and you walked in there and said, I want a new bow, and the guys at Jay's said, what do you want? And you said, okay, give me your top 3 bows, and I will shoot all of them and make my decision. And you came up with Matthews. Okay, that's a good, solid, educated decision. What I don't like is when people walk in the door at Jay's or other stores and they say, give me a new Matthews. And the Jay's guys say, have you shot it before? And they say, no, but that's what they shoot on TV. That's what sticks in my craw. But it's marketing. I mean, part of my job is marketing. So how can I get down on somebody who is so effective at marketing that their products just sell themselves? Hey, Mark, good evening. Have fun in Manitoba. Joe says he went through 2 Barnetts. The limbs didn't last. Went back to a compound this year. I get that. Compound. David, Centerpoint. Cabela's carries them also at Dunham's. I have the amped 450 fast and straight shooter. Excellent, David. And a bow is such a personal decision. A bow, a crossbow, especially a broadhead. I think a broadhead is one of the most personal decisions a bow hunter can make. Because ultimately, that is the one piece of gear that comes between you and the animal. Michael, good evening. How are you? Terry has 3 killer instincts. He loves them all. Would I use a 38 special revolver for deer hunting? No, I would not. Jeff, same company that owns Raven owns Centerpoint. Starts with a V or something. Oh, well, Victory. Victory. I got a good friend who was at. I can't think of the names here, so I'm not going to go any farther. But yeah, Johnny says his Raven has been great. Oops. And, don't ever tell me that crossbows are bad for bow hunting or they're bad for the industry. Fred Bear never would have used them. That's a crock. And I can have that discussion with you if you want, but I think I've talked about it before. James, I shot every bow new to the market from every manufacturer and landed on Mathews. This is my first one, just felt best to me. I think that is probably the smartest comment I've heard on here tonight, James. No offense to anybody else. But you shot everything, you landed with that bow, and it felt good in your hand. That is ultimately what you have to shoot a bow and see how it feels. I respect a decision like that. Absolutely. Matt Craig, who is, I think, pulling our leg here a little bit. Mathews is a great starter now. Bowtech is the end-all. Velocity. Thank you, Jeff. Velocity Outdoors. Ross says Dart and crossbows, literally. Ross, you know I love Dart and crossbows. I love Darton as a company. I wish Darton would make a decocking bow and I would go back to a Darton. Hey, Brian, how are you? You hunting now? Bear was actually your second choice. Bear makes some really nice bows again, don't they? Steve says he saw 5 different bucks this morning, 3 different shooters. The rut is definitely on. Buy what feels best to you. Yes. Velocity. Yes. Good evening, Marion. How are you? Mark says, I know the hype of rage, but last night my deer didn't go 40 yards with a blood trail a blind guy could follow. People either love rages or they hate them. At one point, Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters would not allow his hunters to use a 2-blade rage. Who's on the show this week? Remind me, Cliff. I'll get back to it. My son Archer got the bear. Speaking of, congratulations to Archer. James, speaking of this, and to everybody else listening right now, I've got a new thing going on with the Forward Corporation. Forward has been in business for almost a century now. The company is run by 5th generation of the Forward family. So they're very much into tradition. They're very much into the outdoors. So we've got a new thing going on. It's called Forward Fuels Tradition. If you post a picture of a young person online, it can be on my Facebook page or anywhere, online, with the hashtag, it'd be on your Facebook page, the hashtag Forward Fuels Tradition. Forward Fuels Tradition. At the end of the month, the people from Forward are going to keep track of these all, and they will give away a prize. I don't know if it's a gift certificate to Forwards or whatever, to what they deem the winning picture for that month. So Forward Fuels Tradition. Speaking of the Forward Corp, their Lumberjack restaurant in West Branch, we are going to have another Wednesday night live up there on Wednesday, December 6th. Starting tomorrow morning, you can call and get your reservations. Unless your name is Ross Elliott, then you already have them. Call 989-343-0892, 989-343-0892 for reservations. Brian, center point is what I got this deer Sunday with the Grim Reaper. Nice. Congrats on that buck, Brian. Dave, I had 6 spikes, 5 button bucks come in with does yesterday. We're chasing does, so the rut is on for sure. There's no doubt about it. The rut is indeed on. Also have 4 and 5 point coming in during the same time. Excellent. Jimmy, hello, Mike. Do you have any info on how Michigan's pheasant hunting initiative is working for the state and hunters? I think it's working well. I think there are certain people, including the pheasant himself, who would like to see more pheasants being released. Bernie, a very, very, very interesting question. Does the Broadhead brand really matter if the shot placement is good? That is such an interesting question. And you're right, Bernie. If you shoot a deer in the right spot with a field point, you'll kill it. You'll kill it. I think the broadhead brand and size and cut and design really comes into play on the marginal shots. And though we all strive to make a good, clean, humane, quick killing shot, not every shot is going to go exactly where we want it to. So on those shots that do go off kilter just a little bit, I think the broadhead does matter. But you are absolutely right. You could kill a deer with a field point if you shot it with a bow with enough force and in the right spot. Ed says, define young, under 18. That's a good question too, Ed, and I don't think it's been defined. I think we could say 18 or under 18 would be safe. But if you got a picture of somebody, a young person, and you're not young, Ed, I'm not young, but maybe your grandkids are young, post them. Forward fuels tradition. John, I didn't realize you were a taxidermist. Says, we taxidermists have been busier in the last week. It's happening. Get out there. It is getting out, happening, that's for sure. Ed's calling tomorrow for get a table of 6. Terry, the trail cam taking pics as we speak. Fusion X Pro. Craig says, brand does not matter. Just a good, sturdy design. And Craig, one that will fly consistently, right? So you can pattern it. Now, your broadhead does not have to fly. The impact point does not have to be the same as a field point, but it has to be consistent so you can dial it in and adjust your scope or sight accordingly. Rabbit homesteading, why do they only release roosters and no hens? I mean, that probably stresses the local hens. It's not helping reproduction. This is not designed for reproduction, rabbit homesteading. This is designed to provide a hunting opportunity. The Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative is not out there to increase the pheasant population. No. It's out there to put roosters in the wild to become targets for bird hunters to try to rejuvenate interest in pheasant hunting. Dan, good evening. How are you? Josh says, what's the best cell trail camera? I don't know, Josh. I honestly don't. We use Spy Point. I've been very happy with those. Lee's very happy with his Slick Tricks 125s. You will not find, in my opinion, any particular product in the outdoors that shows more brand loyalty or provokes more arguments than a broadhead. People love or hate their broadheads. Hey, Corey's getting ready to head out to Missouri. Okay, it was asked a little bit earlier, who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this week? Bill Winowicki, who is the president of the Michigan Charter Boat Association. I brought Bill on the show to once again thank him for presenting me with this award last Saturday at the Michigan Charter Boat Association annual meeting in Holland, Michigan. That award means a lot to me. Thank you. But I also wanted to talk to him about this bit of proposed legislation, House Bill 5108, that would allow, let's talk about this for a second, that would allow commercial fishermen in Michigan to target sport fish using gill nets. Now think about this. There are 13 commercial fishermen in Michigan. Now, there are more than 13 commercial fishing licenses, but there are 13 companies or families or operations, groups, that commercially fish in Michigan. There are hundreds of thousands of sport anglers. The sport anglers pay for the fishery. They pay for the stocking. They pay for the research. The commercial fishermen do not. I have nothing against commercial fishing. They are hardworking people. Many of them are multi-generation operations, father to son to son. They're hardworking people. And I think it's a very, very cool job to be out there on the water. It's hard work. But I am vehemently and adamantly against allowing 13 commercial fishing families in Michigan to have access to game fish using gill nets. And you know what we have to thank for this? That consent decree decision. It has emboldened the commercial fishermen because they're looking at that going, well, if they're letting the tribes pushing them to use gill nets and they're saying it's okay that they selectively fish, which is an absolute baloney, obviously. Anyway, I talked to Bill Winowicki about that. Dean Hall of the Michigan Sportsmen Against Hunger is my second guest this week. Dean talks about if you have any extra venison this year, you can donate it to the Sportsmen Against Hunger program to help out needy families across the state. And then Lindsay Carpenter of the Forward Corporation talking about the Forward Fuels Tradition campaign. In our second hour, Glenn Duncan of Duncan's Outdoor Shop talks about sighting in your deer gun. Lieutenant Mark Papanoff from the DNR on how to stay safe and legal in the outdoors, and he answers this week's Ask Avery questions. In our third hour, we switch over to fall fishing with Captain Pete Pat Salas of Hook One Charters over on Lake St. Clair River, and then Rich Krazan of Killer Food Plots. I didn't even know that Rich had a line of scents. They've got a cover scent and an attractant. We talk about that. And we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire, Dixie Dave Miner. Okay. Lee loves his slick tricks. Gene, good evening. How are you? Corey says, a Wise Eye or Tacticam. Them rage people. David says, until I lose a deer with a rage, I'll keep... See, people love... It's a very... personal decision, and because of that, people really put a lot of stock in their broadheads. Paul, I emailed you my rep, emailed my rep on that and forwarded you his reply. Thank you. I think I saw it. Good evening, Jeff. Hunting's going pretty good. I haven't shot a deer yet, Gene, but the rut is on, as Dave is saying right there, and things are happening. James, G5. Now, I will tell you this. Of all the broadheads I have ever shot, the two that I like the best just happen to be two Michigan companies, and they're made right here in Michigan. G5 Products by the Grace family out in Memphis. They do a wonderful job. They make great products. That Montec is a go-to head. I get them to fly out of my crossbows and broadheads. Really a solid head. And this new company out of Frankenmuth, fairly new, called REK, R-E-K, the Taggart family. Man, they do a great job. They do a great job. So for what it's worth, and I don't care what you shoot, but my two favorites are the G5 and the REK. And right now I'm shooting the REK. Will I have a guest on next week's Wednesday Night Live? Yes, Amy Trotter of MUCC will be here. Amy Trotter of MUCC will be here next week on Wednesday Night Live. I know that you love it when Amy comes on because she's just a great resource and a great lady. We've got a few minutes left. What do you want to talk about? Dave says he wants to try those REKs. Oh, we've got a promo code for REK. I got a promo code for everything. Let me tell you what the promo code for REK is. Oh, Johnny. So that's the dog that's eating the sugar beet. Let me find out what the promo code for REK is. Because I got them for everything. Come on. Okay, the promo code for rec, if you go to recbroadheads.com, you can save 15% if you use the promo code it's Avery 15. Avery 15. Go to the website, recbroadheads.com, recbroadheads.com. Use the promo code Avery15, and you can save 15%. Now, if you want to save on Michigan brand products, go to the website, michiganbrand.net. That's michiganbrand.net. Use the promo code Mike20 to save 20%. And here's the big one right now. If you want to save 50% on a Primal blind, go to the website primaloutdoors.com, primaloutdoors.com. Use the promo code AveryFall23, AveryFall23, and you can save 50%. For example, the My Beloved Wraith 270 see-through ground blind is $130. Rabbit homesteading. I'm over 40. What is the fine if I legally, as far as tagging and other restrictions, get a deer and everything good, but I never took hunter safety? You may not know that, but I can't get to one to test. I don't know. It seems to me rabbit homesteading is if you have a tag in your pocket, a license in your pocket, it should have been up to the DNR to check to see if you've taken hunter safety before they gave you that license, but that's just me. Kevin, the G5 is a bone crusher. Does Michigan Brand still have a promo code? I just said that. MichiganBrand.net, MichiganBrand.net. Use the promo code Mike20 and you can save 20%. Am I doing a Wednesday night live on November 15th? No. Not doing one in the morning either, probably. Thank you for that reminder. Mark, you know what? This one slipped right through the cracks. I did not investigate the cameras in the UP. I followed up on several other things, including the question of Blaze Pink. You'll remember we talked about this. It's answered this week in the Ask Avery segment, but the crux of it is you can wear Blaze Pink all you want, but you still got to wear Blaze Orange, and you have to have at least 50% Blaze Orange coverage. So Blaze Pink, it doesn't matter. It's a marketing thing. It's not a legal consideration in the least. Hello, Bruce. Patrick, getting ready for a 2-week hunting vacation in southern Michigan, then the UP. That sounds like fun, Patrick. Good luck to you. Good question, Tony. Will we as sportsmen ever come together and help pass a commercial fishing bill that helps sportsmen? The commercial fishing bill in Michigan desperately needs to be revamped. And what do they call it? Recodified? And I'll tell you one great example of this. Remember last summer on Saginaw Bay in the springtime in the Clearwater when the one walleye fisherman got up in Clearwater on the west side of the bay and he found a trap net filled with walleye, with dead, rotting walleye? And to find out that commercial angler did nothing wrong. It was not illegal. He didn't check his nets because he couldn't get out there because of storms. There is no law on the books requiring commercial fishermen to check their nets in a timely manner. If you go out tomorrow morning and set a muskrat trap, depending on where you live in the state, you'll have to check it every, day or two? A muskrat trap. But if you were a commercial angler, you could put a net in Saginaw Bay, could fill with walleye, and if you didn't check it and they all rotted, there's nothing wrong with it. So we need to revamp the commercial fishing laws. Absolutely. Jason, this is a great idea. I think I'll bring that up. The thing of it is, Rapid River Code. The thing of it is, Chris Durson at Rapid River, he sells every knife he can make. Pretty soon he'll be sold out for Christmas. So I don't know if it does him any good. I see it there, Corey. I don't know if it does him any good to do a promo code or not. Oh my goodness. Now that's a good angle on that picture, right? I mean, the guy's pushing it forward about 5 feet and the photographer's right there in the rack, but that's a great picture, a great buck. Okay, Dave. Bernie saw 3 nice bucks this evening, but looking out my kitchen window. Oh, well. Hello, Al. Paul, I was up at Jay's last Friday. Every time I go through a parking lot, look to see if your truck is there. That one day, you and Davina were up there. I was there, and I missed you by like 20 minutes. Did we get any snow? No, we got some snow flurries, nothing on the ground. Saginaw, when I went into the studio yesterday, they'd had about a half inch. West Michigan, Muskegon, Grand Haven got like 6 or 8 inches. Looking forward to the Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack. That Wednesday Night Live, Dave, is. I look forward to seeing you, Dave. The Wednesday Night Live is Wednesday, December 6th at the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. You can call tomorrow, starting tomorrow, for reservations, 989-343-0892, 989-343-0892. If nobody answers, leave a message. Tell them your name, how many in your party, and give them a cell number or a contact number so they can get back in touch with you. Gene says, Mike, are you bringing your pontoon back for service? I don't know how to answer that, Gene. I don't know if that's a loaded question or what. My Angler Quest does not need service. It is running the old tubes. I'd like to get the new tubes on it. But with everything going on at Angler Quest right now, I think those guys replacing tubes on a boat that I ran last year is probably at the very bottom of the list. Taken next to yours in Missouri. Well, I hope you got a good gene pool there. Hey, Jim, how are you? Paul says November 15th should be a Michigan State holiday. I disagree, Paul. I disagree. I understand what you're saying, but I disagree. Why should we give people who don't hunt the day off? Why should we give every state employee November 15th off if they're just going to sit home in their pajamas, watch TV, and drink coffee? Why should other people be rewarded for our holiday? Ross says, Mike, I think when you sign your license, it has something to do with hunter safety. Ross, so are you saying that when we sign that, we are attesting to the fact that we have had a hunter safety class? That would make sense. Rabbit Homesteading, love you promoting hunting and fishing. Everyone should watch. Well, I appreciate that. And that's why I got this award. Again, I'll show it off again. That's why I got this award from the Michigan Charter Boat Association for my promotion of the Charter Boat Association and outdoor recreation in Michigan. Emil, I did. I just talked about the CWD doe in Ogemaw County. I also talked about the fact that tomorrow folks can call 989-343-0892 and get reservations for our Wednesday Night Live on the 6th. Lee says he wishes Rapid River made a bigger folder. This is the biggest folder that Rapid River makes right here. This one. I personally don't feel a need myself for a bigger folder. And I don't know why they don't, Lee. If there was a market for it, you can bet that they would, that Chris Durson would. I see I cut this with an apple while I was on the air today and forgot to wash it off. My bad. All right, Johnny, you have a great night as well. Hey, Angie, how are you? Paul says he wishes the Lumberjack wasn't 3 hours away, and with all the construction getting out of Southeast Michigan makes it hard. It do indeed. It do certainly indeed. All righty. It's time to wrap up this edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show. And how do we do that? Well, I thought I knew how we did it. That one snuck up on me. All right, my friends, thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. My name is Mike Avery, the website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Email address, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Go to PrimalOutdoors.com. Use the promo code AveryFall23. Get 50% off on blinds. Go to RecBroadheads.com. Use the promo code Avery15. Get 15% off. Go to MichiganBrand.net. Use the promo code Mike20. Get 20% off. Call 989-343-0892 tomorrow for reservations for our Wednesday Night Live. Get out there right now. Enjoy the cold weather. If you're going to be hunting deer, now is the time to do it. Get in the stand, sit as long as you can, and see if Mother Nature and God will put a nice buck in your sights.